Good morning, and it looks like the that starting soon screen is working out really well. So today I figured we're going to continue on with the making of these screens for OBS, and the next two are going to be the break screen. So like, hey, quick break time. It's pretty much going to be very similar to this one. So with a I'm thinking the rotating R would be good. I want to change the break screen around, so that way if you see like the pattern of the rotating R and then the starting soon one on top of each other. So if we take a look at this preview right here, we have the main cog and then the starting soon. I would want to like change it around, so maybe like starting soon on top and then break timer down below. That way you could see the pattern and just recognize, oh, it's different, so therefore it's a different message. Or it could be a different color, or maybe it can change colors. I don't know, something to make it slightly different, so that when you see it, you know that it's not exactly the same as the starting soon. So with that, let's go ahead and see what we can see with that code. Okay, so what is this called? This is the Twitch overlay. Yep, it's all right, so what I'm thinking of is that it'll be the same web server, but maybe a different route on it. So if we want to take a look at different routes here, we have function main. That's okay, thank you very much. So we can see here at resource at / we do greet, and greet is doing this. I actually think we should change this probably now from greet to starting soon. And then we can do another resource, and in this one we're going to want /break. It's going to be the exact same thing, a closure that takes an R, and then we want r.f, and we pass in a function that obviously we haven't created yet, but we're going to call this break. Ooh, we can't call it break. Stream break time. How about break time? Which means up here we create our function. So function break time. This is going to take in a variable that we don't really, a parameter we don't really care about, rec, which is an HTTP reference to HTTP request. And we're going to return an HTTP response. And okay, so HTTP response, we're going to give it an okay. And we're basically going to send in the body. We're going to include string. So in static, what will it be? We probably want to call this the same thing, right? So break _ time.html. Okay, and this should be yelling at us because it couldn't find that file. So let's go create this file. So break time.html. So in static, break time.html. All right, and here we can create an HTML page. Break time. I don't think we're going to need any JavaScript for this one. We're probably eventually going to need the style sheet. In fact, if I keep it the same, this, the static slash index, no, main.css. Okay, so slash, I think it's just slash static main.css. And then in here, I'm gonna want to do the exact same thing that I did previously. If we take a look at what we have, so we have body, there's a Rust logo. This is a div, and then we have an h1. So I'm gonna do an h1 first. So this will be quick break, be back soon. Maybe in fact I want to do something like a subtitle. I'll just start with quick break, and then I want a div that has a class of Rust logo. And I don't think I care about anything inside of it. I think it's just plain and simple as that is. So if I run this, let's see what it looks like. Right, the fun 30-second or so compile time for this server. I guess this is the negative of using like a really big, huge server for this, but it's also really awesome to learn it so that I can use it when I want to. All right, compiled in 21.64 seconds. Let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like. Localhost :3001. So here's our starting zoom, and then if we go to break time, what did I actually call it? Just break. Oh, okay, so it worked. We have the rotating thing, we have quick break. Quick break is way up top. And the reason for that, unfortunately, is because in this main CSS, we have this this margin top. So what I probably want to do is keep the rest of this the same, but maybe break out this margin top into another class. So let's go ahead and remove this from there. And what do I want to call this? Basically, it's going to be a dot below title. And that's where we're going to have our margin top. Okay, so below title, so that means for our index.html, we want to come here to h1 and give it a class of below title. I want a dash. Okay, so I think this will look a little bit better. Unfortunately, I changed the HTML, so I have to recompile. Okay, so that's up and working. If I hit refresh, okay, so quick break is looking good now. So we have the quick break inside. We have the Rust logo is just sitting here on its own. It's all looking good. If we come to just slash, starting soon is exactly the way that it was looking previously. So that's looking good. It looks like all the work we did yesterday is making it so it's really easy to sort of update this and add new routes and do new things, which is really cool. So Once I have that, this could be our quick break. Let's go ahead and press this build. And add all view and added quick break route. And I also want to recompile this for Windows. Is it cargo build? And of course, this may take a little bit of time because we did change the actual code and it needs to recompile, and recompiling for production takes a significant more time because it's well, it does the same exact thing that the normal compiler does, but it adds in the optimizations passes, which could be significantly longer. Now, last time we were doing this, we got a lot of output while it was running, but this time it looks like we don't have that. All right, so 36.28 seconds. Finish that, so I should be able to now copy the Twitch overlay back over to here. So if we come here, we've added in Twitch overlay.exe into the project. We can see it right here. And the idea of why we're adding this in is that we can the actual production binary is available to Windows. I could just download the zip and get it working. So it's added compiled for Windows. All right, so if we're sending that up, it's time to switch over. Okay, finally finished. Let's switch over to Windows and see what we can do about getting that all set up. All right, so in here, we're gonna go to GitHub. Twitch overlay. Okay, so this is the latest stuff. We have the compiled for Windows. I'm gonna download as a zip file. And actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and X out of this. Let's delete all of these. That way we don't have anything competing with it as it downloads. All right, so extracting. All right, it's so I found I can run this if I double click it. The only problem is it does tell me like, hey, this is not cool. You shouldn't be doing this. But when I get past it and force it to run it anyways, then it does start the server up. And this is it. It's just sitting here, and I can just close the window to turn off the server too. So if I do that, the only problem is because it's not signed digitally, it like Windows doesn't trust it at all. Okay, so if I come back to there, we're gonna come back to OBS. So our starting soon is still up and running. It looks exactly the same as it probably should. Let's now go ahead and create a. This is gonna be quick break. This is gonna be a browser source. Quick break. Oh, quick break. Browser. It always starts with this like OBS project. Okay, so we want localhost colon 3001 slash break. Width is 1092. I already forgot what the settings are. No, 1920 by 1080. That's what it is. 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. We want no custom CSS. Everything should be good. We'll shut down the source when not visible, and we'll refresh the browser when we're coming back in. We'll say okay. And so we have quick break. It's the full size. The problem seems to be that the quick break is a little bit too high. So the Rust thing is centered properly. So we just need to drop down the quick break a little bit. Good morning, Stacking. Let's see. Okay, so quick break is just a little bit too high. Let's switch back over to Linux World, and we'll figure something out for this. Of course, we have to rerun this. Cargo run. Okay, so right now, if I just take a look at this to get a reference, quick break, it's shortly above the queue here. Like this is the area. So I need to bring this down. The Rust logo could probably be brought down just a little bit too. It's not like that big of a deal. But I'm thinking we just drop this down a little bit up here. Maybe we could also just change its color a little bit so it's not the same. Then that'll be fine. So let's try that. In fact, I'm gonna do this with the DevTools. The top of the Rust logo still has that annoying padding that's pushed into the side of the page. Does it? The thing, I guess it does over here. What is nice is that I'm not seeing that on the OBS side. It's not like doing anything there because there is no scroll bar. So that's one of those things where it's only visible here, so I don't have to actually do anything. We just have to live with it for a little bit of time. Okay, so quick break. We have our font size, we have our color. Let's add a margin top -1 v min. Oh, look, okay, so that's pushing everything down. Question is, do I want to do that for the H1? Okay, so I'm doing it for the H1 is because it's like cascading, it's pushing like all the elements below it down as well. We didn't really have the problem with the div before because, well, we didn't really care about that. We were just pushing one down, like that was already on the bottom up. I don't want to take this out of the flow and do like a position absolute or position relative and then push it down. I don't think that's really helpful. I think pushing this down a little bit to something like that might actually be good. It just moves it around. And I'm also thinking that a little bit color to this will also help like change how it looks. So let's do this. Margin top 12 v min for the quick break. So in main CSS dot above title is going to be margin top 12 v min Okay, so we have the above top, then we also want dot rest color so this is going to be the background color for the Rust logo, I think. We're going to need the WebKit mask. Okay. Background color white. We have background color white. WebKit mask image. WebKit mask repeat. WebKit mask size. The background color is just fine. So I don't need to do anything with that. So I could just say background color I think background color rest. Logo break. Are you gonna give me? Last time I did background color, it gave me some preview windows. That would have been nice to have. Okay, so is there a rest? Blue. I don't want like a brown. That I don't think that's gonna look good. Maybe a very light green. That green doesn't look like that looks too pastel. We could try it, see what it looks like. You can click on a color to make a custom color. Ooh. Okay, so light. No, that just adds in light green there. I think I would need to command palette. Nope. I would need to like set that up like I probably need to go in and like figure out what the actual color I want, and then I could just put in the code for it. Oh wait, how did I get that? This is it. Okay, so I figured so it wasn't on this thing right here. It's on the the name of the color as opposed to the preview. So I'm thinking just like a dark green here. Okay, so if we save, we will need to recompile because we have to add the background color logo break to the we have to add that to break time HTML with this div class logo. We're also going to add in this class. What else do we? I don't think we're caring about anything else, so let's go ahead and recompile. Compiling, such a small change in yet 30 seconds or so. Oh, 12 seconds. That's not terrible. Hit refresh. That actually looks like it might be too dark. I wonder if I can play with that here. So we'll come into here. We have background color of this. Is there a color picker in? Oh no, there's not. Okay, let's try this. Rust color RGB. Okay, RGB color space. Okay, so this might be good. 71.8, 25.5, 5.5, which is this. Ooh, that's not too bad. What do you think about this? It pops out a lot more. Also, for some reason, it doesn't seem to be. Okay, I was gonna say like it wasn't doing this weird rotation thing, but now it's back to doing it again. Okay, so I think this looks good too. Let's before we forget that, let's come back into here. Our background color is really going to be this. Gonna save it. CSS doesn't require any changes, so this is gonna be our quick break. It's gonna make it a little bit easier to, well, a little bit easier to see what's going on. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna need these in, so it's okay. Repositioned the quick break screen, and then let's recompile. I'm hoping it won't take quite as long as this time because we're not changing as many files and it's cached all the compiles, all the compiled links and everything else, but we'll see. All right, you can do it. I should have like a clock to remind me because it doesn't feel like it's only 30 seconds. It feels like it's longer. All right, and we want our copy. So I'm gonna add you in. So compiled for Windows. Send that on up. You can finish. All right, so that's all good. That's all done. That's good. Let's come back over to here. We'll close. Oh, I need to also switch over to Windows Dev so you can see what I'm doing. I'll switch over to you. Delete all your stuff. Downloaded zip file. Okay, so we're back in business. Extract all. Let's go ahead and do this the proper way so we don't have to constantly get that annoying pop-up message. Okay, so it's downloads. Okay, so running the server. Back to OBS Studio. If we go to quick break. If we go to starting soon, that works. Quick break. It didn't refresh. Let's see what we can do about it. Oh, there we go. I had to reset the cache of the page because apparently it cached that page. But this looks significantly better, so I can switch over to this. Transition. Let's see what this looks like on my phone. I actually like that a lot. I think it looks really good. And transition back. Okay, so that gives us a quick break time, and what else would we possibly want? One thing I've been thinking about, and I've needed to do it a few times where I just like blank out the screen or do something else when I need to have a little bit of the privacy section, so that, hey, I'm looking at a key, I'm looking at something else that I don't want the stream to see, and having something to obfuscate that would be really nice. And of course, having the end screen, thanks for watching, would be really nice too. I'm thinking maybe the thanks for watching screen would be next. Currently compiling screen. That would be fun. So like a little animation or something to play when it's currently compiling. That might be really good too. Okay, so back to Linux. Okay, so what do I want out of that? Let's close these windows now. Let's think about how this could look. The thanks for watching should maybe have, what if we add like two of these, like one here, one here, thanks for watching, and they're both rotating and doing that thing. I'm basically using the rotating over and over and over again, but I'm putting it in slightly different ways. That way people can like easily see that they're not good. And so I can say thanks for watching, and I can put all the information that I normally put on the screen. So things like where the code can be found, and my Twitter address, my YouTube address, and everything else. So I kind of like that idea. So Rust logo here, Rust logo here. Thanks for watching. Find my code at blah. Like then links, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Like the Twitch will probably be there simply because this is going to be archived to YouTube. People might be looking there and not know where this is coming from, and vice versa with YouTube. They would be like, well, why do I need that link? Okay, so let's begin with that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come back into main.rs. Why are you? Couldn't read break. Okay, so we fixed you, but you're still claiming you're broken, which is not cool. You know what I think it is? I think let's try closing code completely and reopening it. I think it's because like I told it to go look for a file before the file exists, and so it got freaked out. It seems to be fine now. So clearly we need to create a in static. We need to create the file first. So touch static thanks for watching .html. All right, so we can write up HTML here. Thanks for watching the stream. All right, so style sheet will be fine. We do want to make this under static. Main.css. We don't need any JavaScript for this screen either. Okay, so what is it going to look like? We want, I don't have any ports to use. So, I do have a Wacom tablet for like a quick sketches of what I would possibly want to draw. I don't really have anything for that. I don't actually know if I have any good drawing software on here either. I don't think I do. So, complete moot point regardless. Let's just sort of go and wing this by like taking the very, very vague idea I have in my mind and try to put it to the screen. So we're gonna have two Rust logos in the top, in the left and the right. So we're gonna want to put, we need a section and maybe this should be the header. So this could be the header, and so that way we can hit this with a flex box, and then center the entire thing, and then have with some space between for the logos, and then the thanks for watching. So inside the header, we're gonna want a div for the class equals Rust logo. We're going to want to duplicate this, and then in here we're also going to want the an h1 that says thanks for watching. All right, so if I just start with that on its own, I wonder what this looks like. Wait our 23 seconds to find out. Oh, you know what? I also forgot that you can't just create the file. We also have to create the route. So that compile doesn't actually count. Okay, so we have /break. We also want a dot resource. This is going to be slash. What do we want to call this? This is going to be ending. Maybe thanks. Stream ending, I think, is good. Stream ending. This is going to take a closure, which takes an r.f. Stream ending. Okay. Function stream ending. Going to take in rec, which is a reference to HTTP request. We are going to return an HTTP response. Our HTTP response is really going to return the OK. And in the body, we're going to include the string. Thanks for watching.html. All right. Did you find it? I think it did. So by doing it, by creating a file first and by setting it up, I think VS Code is much happier about what we're doing. So let's go ahead and recompile now. All right, finish that. Let's. Okay, so we have our break still working here. Now I called it stream ending. Okay, so I mean, clearly not exactly what we wanted here, but I don't think it's that, like, we can now play with the CSS a little bit, and that's going to be significantly faster. So we want to go into static main.css. Okay, so we do have this problem where the Rust logo, we tell it what the size is. So we're gonna wanna break this out and no longer have it inside the Rust logo. So we're gonna want to have maybe something like a logo large class, and that's where we're gonna put in mask size view in there. So mask image is gonna be fine. Width and height need to be reset. Animation name, duration. Okay, so this is just the pure logo, and this is going to be the size. So logo large, and then we're going to want to repeat this, copy and paste, and we're going to want to make this a small. So instead of 75 vim or vmin, let's make this 25. And see how that ends up working. Now, of course, we now have to do, okay, logo large and logo small. So thanks for watching. Our logo we want this to be logo small. And we also have to come in here to static index, and in the Rust logo we want to say logo large, and of course we have to compile again. Like, currently compiling screen is sounding good right now, although, like, I don't know what we want to put on there. Like, some kind of animation would be really cool. All right, 12 seconds compile. That's pretty good. Let's take a look. All right, so this is pretty nice. We have two small logos right here, and if we come back to the main, is that still working the way we want it to? Yep. Okay, so everything is exactly the same we want it to be. Next, let's so I'm seeing this here, and this is looking pretty wide. I'm worried it's going to be like a little bit too wide, but let's see what we can do with it. We're going to put this, we're going to use Flexbox for this. So in here, we have the header and these divs. So we're going to put flex on the header. So where do we want to do that? Just down here, I'll just do header. We're gonna do display flex. And I think is it space? No, it's oh, I'm forgetting. So space between is the value that I want to set. I'm forgetting the key for it. It's not like a content thing. I have this book that I might as well use right here. Okay, so we want positioning. We want flex box 532. So there's flex direction, flex wrap, flex flow. I wonder if I'm going to need the WebKit stuff for this one too. I didn't seem to need it for the Flexbox. So I don't need the wrap. I don't need the column. Is the flex? So, oh, justify content space between. That's what it is. Justify content space between. So let's save this, refresh. Okay, so, and then this one needs to be centered. So we need to take header, is an H1? It is. So header H1. Maybe I'll just like everything inside of header is going to be text align center. I mean, so it's not terrible, and it actually makes it a little bit easier than reading like one entire huge line here. So thanks for watching. I think these need to be colored the way we want it to. So what was that? That was background color logo break. I almost feel that I just want to say that this is the background color. Background color logo. Which of course means that we need to change it there too. So what is it? Static break time HTML. You are that. And thanks for watching. In class, we're also going to add you. I don't want to print. I want to refresh. You are not getting the current. Okay, so background color logo is a class, main.css. Background color logo is this class, which is setting that properly. So it's not. Is it not getting it all? Doing header. Oh, take a look at this. So class, right? I changed the HTML. I have to recompile. It's going like it's not. It's almost as if it's not getting that that class applied to it. Well, of course it's not. I have to recompile to have the HTML changed. Anything in static is fine as long as it's not like we're not caring about the whatever thing we're like the HTML. Okay, so that's a problem. The size. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say like the size of these were being cut off a little bit. I think that's only when I have the dev tools on. Is it squeezing it closed a little bit? But this works when I have it bigger out like this. So we have a big thanks for watching. Then down here we're gonna want to fill this with information about like where to find the different stuff. So what do we really care about? The code can be found, probably like something like the code can be found at. So let's go ahead and add sections for this. So we have header, we now have a main section, and we're gonna have a div code. The code can be found at so I'm just gonna give my GitHub. Maybe I should just do GitHub where all my code is going. Okay, so GitHub, where all my code is going. Maybe for this, I want to have an H2 where links code. And so I don't really care about putting this into like an A tag because nobody's gonna be able to click it on the stream. It's just gonna be something you have to look at. So we wanna make it super nice and simple to see. Okay, so we have the code here. What else do we care about? We have the Twitch streams. So all right, so we have Twitch stream, we have YouTube. I don't think I have a vanity YouTube name because I'm not a partner with them or something like that. Let's go to my channel. Yeah, because this is, oh man, okay. This is not super helpful. It would be nice if I had something like youtube.com/channel/blah, but this like nobody's gonna want to hit this and find it. So maybe like I'm gonna need to come back later and do some kind of well, okay, so I could either ask them, can I customize the channel and add that right now? Okay, so they're not, there might be more account settings, but I don't necessarily want to go and look at that right now. Okay, so I'm not gonna worry about anything like this right now. This is totally not gonna work. So I'm gonna skip YouTube. Let's do Twitter. Okay, so we have our code, we have the Twitch location, we have Twitter. Let's see how this looks first. It's gonna be unstyled, so it's probably not gonna look that great. Hit refresh. Oh, you know what? It especially doesn't look great because it's black text on a black background. So that's not cool. All right, so we have links. I'm thinking just having like these links over here. But maybe what would be best is we could put like the schedule that we normally do, that we normally have here. And we have the links over here on this side. So what would that look like? So we have main. Inside of main, we're gonna want a section class. I need to say what the section is for. So class is gonna equal the links. Oh, why don't you untab too? Okay, so we have our section class links, and then we want to have a section. This is going to be class equals schedule. Okay, so we're going to have another h2 in here where we say just schedule. Then we can have a div. So what do we want to say on it? We want to say basically Brooks builds every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And I think, I mean, it's pretty simple, but I think that might be it. What we probably want to do is in our main CSS, in our body, we have background color black. We probably want to just set color to white. And just like have a default. If we don't set the color of anything, it's going to be white. Which does make that other text show up now. And that's super nice. We're also going to want to, as soon as it's finished, then flexbox this so it's on left and right too. Okay, so we have our links, we have our schedule, and let's now put this left and right here. So we have a header. We also want a main section. So this is going to be display flex justify content. What do we have? Space evenly might be good. Space between might be good too. Let's try the way it looks here. Okay, so we want them as like basically as far apart as possible. Oh, come on. There we go. So we have flex end, flex start, inherit, initial, space around, space between, space evenly. Okay, so what's nice here is they have actually little descriptions of what it's going to do. So actually center line, items pack flush to each other. Nope. I don't want flush to each other. Flex items are evenly distributed in a line with half-size spaces on either end. So space around, space between. Flex items are evenly distributed in the line, space evenly. The items are evenly distributed within the alignment container along the main axis. Let's try the space around, like these different space ones. All right. I'm going to want to do this. How can I break this out? Well, that's not what I want. Dock to bottom. Okay, here we go. So in main, we have our space around. Okay. Justify content. Oh, interesting. So I'm not actually seeing it doing anything right here. I wonder if I have to give them widths. So do I have to, for each of the things inside of here, do I have to give it a width of like 40 v min? Oh, I do. So if I did that for each section, with 40 v min, then we come back up to main. We did justify content not center. Okay, so that's not actually changing anything. I want to go between these two. I shouldn't. I don't think I have to give like width, min view width, right? It didn't hurt. So space between is the best here. So if we were saying, okay, if we're doing 100 v min, so 100% of this, we're currently not. I don't think we're current. Well, maybe a border would be really nice for these. So each of these sections, let's actually go and do this back here. So we're gonna create just a class border white, and it's gonna be border 1 pixel. Actually, it shouldn't be border, it should be outline. Outline 1 pixel solid red. Actually, red, white. And we're going to do the exact same thing for dot border red. Outline 1 pixel solid red. Okay, so now I can add border white and border red to these. Thanks for watching. These sections right here. So first of all, I want one more. So I have border white, border red, and dot border green. This is gonna be outline 1 pixel solid green. Okay, so red, white, and green. We're gonna come here, and for main, I want to have a class of border white. For each of these sections, we're gonna have a class. So class links is also gonna be border green, and this section will have a border red. So we will have to recompile, and when this is done, we should be able to see, like, we'll see the border box, and it'll be a little bit easier to sort of see what's going on, where the spaces are, and how it's working. So if we hit this, okay, so we have no space in between here. It's just taking up all the space. But one thing I do notice is that the white border, which is this main right here, it's only in like this smaller size. I want it to take up the full width, all of the screen. So what do I have to do for that? Do I need to tell you? So for this element, do I need to say width 100 v min? No. So 100% works, and it goes 100% of the width here. That makes it a little bit easier to see because now we can see, okay, the links in the schedule are now properly set up between those two. I won't be worried about, so I know that this is working on what, 1920 by 1080. I wonder if I can tell this to be in 1920 by 1080. $1920 by 1080. Okay, so I have plenty of space to work with here. I wish this would like zoom it out a little bit so I could see it all, even though it was like hitting at that size. Maybe I can. Yeah, okay. So 67% view of a 1920 by 1080 looks sort of like this. Having the space between on this side is actually nice because I don't want it all the way up into the edge. These should be centered, so the links and schedule should be centered within them. So maybe in main, so in main H2, we want to text align center. Okay, so I also forgot I need to, for main, have the size, so width is going to be 100%, which brings us back to this area here. Okay, so we have links, we have schedule. We want these to be bigger and maybe a little bit of space between each one to make it a little easier to see. Okay, so for links, let's try for so we have the main section, main H2. I wonder if I can also do main, just the divs. Do not use empty rule sets. Okay, so main section div is what I really care about, but I'm not gonna be empty here. I'm gonna fill you with stuff. Okay, so I want a little bit of space between each one. So maybe like a margin bottom is gonna be maybe one, what am I doing the rest of them? Vmin. So that way it just goes down a little bit and we can play around with it to make it the exact size that we want. We also want to change the font size a little bit. And we're gonna want to use let's do 1 vmin, sort of also play with that too. Okay, so that is not helpful, but we can now play with these, make these a little bit bigger. So if we go too big like this, then it's not happy because these links are too big. This might be better. And then margin bottom, we can increase the size here like that. So 4 and 3 seems to be decently good here. I kind of want to break this in half so that way it's gives more room for the links too. So schedule Brooks builds every weekday morning. What I can do is use p tags. So p tags to break this up. Do Brooks builds every weekday morning in this first paragraph. Okay, so I'm going to want to put you down here on this line, you down here on this line. Okay, p tag there. Let's recompile. And good to go. Oh, I wanted also to start with something a little bit more sane with the CSS. So instead of, we're gonna do 4 and 3. Okay, so this looks a little bit better. I kind of don't want this. Well, do I kind of like don't want this to have the same distance down here? Well, this is all inside of one div. So this is just the normal paragraph, isn't it? So if I find this p tag, yeah, there's nothing that we're saying is going in for the margin bottom. So I wonder if I can do margin 0. Okay, so maybe it's padding. No, okay, hold on. So there is a margin of 21.6, which is that space. Oh, it's margin top and margin bottom. So I would want to do something like, okay. Sorry about that. That was my Slack, not yours. I'll quit that just in case. Okay. So if I do margin 0, it's still not taking effect. Oh, it's that element. It would need to be done to this element too. Like that. I would really want this to be like a margin. Okay, so let's reset P. So maybe at the top, we can do all P tags is going to have a margin of 0. And then down here, inside of main div, we're going to do main P is going to have a margin top of like 10 pixels and a margin bottom of 10 pixels. And now we can play with this, because now we can say, okay, for main P, was that still doing it for each one? No, there it goes. We want to do it. Actually, just margin bottom is fine, and 2 pixels should be good. Margin top we don't need. Margin bottom, 2 pixels. There. Okay, so I think this will look good. It's sort of a little bit hard to tell when it's right here. When it's on the actual stream, it'll look significantly better. So we have our links. Having the actual icons for this might be really helpful, because it does feel like a lot of text here, that's especially a lot of text that's white. And that's going to make it a little bit harder to read. I wonder, I could grab the GitHub logo and just like add that in. It might be a little bit hard to read on the black background, which would also be like a complete different problem. Maybe I can just slightly change the color of these titles. Wonder what I can make them be. Something goes along with Rust. So there's like a light blue, maybe a light blue for the links themselves. Like a really light blue. I could also now increase the size too, can I? So in this section, font size. Yeah, so I can go up to 4 now, which actually makes it a little bit easier to read. So I'm gonna try to make this slightly light blue. So you can be 4 vmin now. And in the main div, okay, so we're gonna want in here, I mean, okay, I want to see what happens if I do an href. And just for good measure, if I actually put the link in here, it's gonna give like the natural colors for a link tag. Is I have to recompile. It's gonna give the natural link colors for it. And we might be able to use that to our advantage. So even if you can't ever click on it, it's obvious that it's link. Okay, it's purple for me because I've clicked on them. I've been to this link before and it knows that. But it should be the blue link. Let's try all of these. This might work. Okay, so we want to do href equals, go to the end, come back to here, copy, end quote, close, paste. Okay. Recompile, because that's the funnest thing ever. That is one of the nice things about working with Node.js or Python or any other more scripted language is instantaneous runtime. All right. So these all make these purple. I think that's gonna be fine. At this point, I want to remove these borders. So we'll take out, so border white can be removed. Border green can be removed. Border red can be removed. I don't think there's anything else I need to care about here. I think it's pretty much ready for me to compile this, send it on over, and see how it looks on the screen. Yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, so is there anything else in here that we have to worry about? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and recompile. So cargo build. And while that's building, we can prep our GitHub. Okay, so what did we do on this one? We created a ending stream page. And I'm just gonna wait for this to pop up as the new changes. And then eventually later I'll have to figure out the entire thing for the custom. Oh, I need my copy too. The custom URL for YouTube. And we'll push this on up. And time for heading back over to Windows. Okay, so back into there. Delete all of you. Do you refresh? Download the zip. Okay, so Twitch overlay master, Twitch overlay.exe. We're running the server. Come back to OBS. Now let's create the ending stream ending. Create a browser source called ending stream browser. It's going to be to localhost colon 3001 / ending stream. Is that what it was? Stream dash ending. Okay, so 1920 by 1080. No custom CSS. And we'll shut down the source while not visible. Refresh the browser. Hit OK. And there we go. Thanks for watching. That is a little bit top heavy, isn't it? So I'm thinking. So the blue is also a little bit dark. I'm going to switch over to it and see how it looks on this device. Okay, yeah, so the text is significantly too dark. The rest of the text is actually decently easy to read. The links in the schedule title could be a little bit larger, but the text is fine. Okay, so I just need to make that a little bit nicer. So I'm thinking, make this a little bit lighter blue, make these a little bit larger, and then bring everything down a little bit. So let's switch back over to Linux. All right, so how do we want to go back to the dashboard? All right, how do I want to deal with this? Let's first bring everything down just a little bit. Or actually, maybe before I do that, let's do the size increase thing first. Okay, so links and schedule. We already have you. Okay, so main. So you're in main and the H2s. So we have text align center. We can also do a font size here. Wait, there's a font size adjust. Preserves the readability of text when font fallback occurs by adjusting the font size so that the X height is the same irregardless of the font used. Well, that's... I think I just want to do this to then say, okay, 5 vmin. And of course, I gotta start the server. Cargo run. Getting lots of little hairs in my eye. Okay, so that's a little bit bigger. It's not header, so in main section H2, we'll take a look at that. So it's not accepting this. Why not? Because I have a silly slash in the file, which I didn't need to have. Okay, so this is a little bit bigger, so I think this will work. Do I want to potentially go even bigger? We can do this. We can also add a little bit of size for like main, because I can end up doing a margin top of 1 vmin, and then increasing that to just a little more space down. And our header could end up having a margin top of 1 vmin. We just go down like that. I kind of like that. It ends up looking really nice. Okay, so this links. Font size is going to be 6 vmin. All right, so that's going to be the size of these titles. Then we're going to want to bring everything down. So this is going to be the header. We want to have a margin top of 12 vmin. And main, we're going to want to have a margin top of 6 vmin. So if we refresh this, it now is pulled all the way down. The links are bigger. the code looks a little bit nicer. So the next thing to do is to change this so it's a little bit nicer color. So a little bit lighter. So we want in the main section, also we don't need these borders anymore. So in main, the A tags, all right, how do I want to do this? In the main A tags, I want to make it so that no matter what, they have the color that we want. So can I just set the color to light blue? And we'll just see what that looks like. That's not terrible. It overrides it for like whether or not it's being clicked on. Like click on that, hit refresh. It's still going to be this light blue, but I don't really care anymore because I don't have to. Nobody's ever going to click on it. Everybody just knows that these are links though because it looks like every other link on the web. Okay, so I think that this is fixing all of the things. Let's go ahead and recompile. So cargo build. Actually, I don't think. Yeah, all that we ended up changing was the CSS. So that makes it easier for compilation. Okay, so improved the look and feel of the ending page. We'll send this on up and then we'll switch over to Windows. And you, back to you. Okay, select everything, delete. Come over here, refresh, improve the look and feel of the page. We'll download everything. We'll extract everything and then cd Twitch overlay, run the server, back to here, stream ending, and here we go. I think that looks significantly better. All right, let's switch over to it and see how it looks full. I like it. The text color of the links isn't like too bold. It's easy to see. I think that text could be a little tiny bit larger. But on my phone, I can actually read this. If I go into vertical mode, it's a little bit small. But that's usually how things are. We have the stream description too, so it's not the worst thing in the world. All right, I like it. Okay, so is there anything else that I want to do for this? We have a break. We have a quick break. We have a stream ending. That's what we've done today so far. Oh, quick break's not loading anymore. Okay, I have to find out what I did. So I broke something. Okay, so we have stream ending, This is all good. We have break. Break is not working. And starting soon is working. Okay, so let's now fix break. All right, so in break time, what did we do? We have h1 quick break, div class, Rust logo, background color logo for the class. Background color logo is this background color. That should display it. And then we have Rust logo and background color logo. We have Rust logo. Oh, we need to give it a logo large. That's what it is. Logo large. No? Oh, HTML, recompile time. So we changed the logo large. I completely forgot that we were breaking the break timer. Or I guess it's not really a timer, the break screen. All right, let's come back. All right, so this is quick break is back running again. So this is good. All right, quick press, cargo build. So quick press will get this back up and running and get it over to Windows. Then let's see. I have thought about setting up the system where it's not going to be quite like what we have here, where it's just my Linux system that is showing all of this stuff. Maybe I'm thinking I could just have a single display for this, have the Twitch chat overlay over on the Linux side, and then basically pull in two windows, one for chat to display and one for this to display. That might be good too. Okay, so got this up. So go ahead and re-release. Fixed bug where the break logo wasn't displaying. Send that on up and back to Windows once again. Oh, nope, that's quick break. Did I just do all that on when the Windows was showing? That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so quick break, remove you. Okay, so delete that. I also want to then come down here, refresh, download the zip. Extract everything. All right, cd Twitch running. Oh look, nothing is working now. Okay, so quick break. So this is running. Let's actually go to localhost and see what we're getting. So localhost :3001. So we're getting the starting soon screen. /break We're getting the break screen. Okay, so if we're getting those screens, so HTTP localhost 3001 break, that should work. Oh, okay. Starting soon, quick break, stream ending. Perfect. Everything's working there on that side. All right. So, what is next? I think I want to play around a little bit so I can create like an obfuscating, like we're obfuscating the code and hiding the screen, but still showing like me in the corner left. I'm kind of gonna steal a little bit of the idea from Noopcat, but let's I want to actually take a real break for a second before I do that. So I'm gonna put on the brand spanking new quick break screen, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. And I'm back. Let's head back over to the Linux world, and let's think about what is next for this. Okay, so one thing currently, I am setting up my entire screen to show me overlaid right here, and my code right here, and my chat right here. But this is all on the Linux screen, except for me, which is being overlaid on the actual streaming box. So I'm thinking what I can do is I can pop out the Twitch on the Windows box and add that in here. So let's actually go and do that over here. So hide you. We don't need you anymore. We don't need, might be good to have later. Okay, so for Twitch, if I go into my, this doesn't really give me access to my chat, but I do have that in Firefox here. So I have Twitch. I'm gonna go to chat, pop out the chat. Let's switch Mozilla Firefox. Let's head back over to OBS. And I want to add in not another scene, but so in, let's say Windows Dev. Well, Windows Dev is just going to be the entire screen, so that's going to be fine. Let's do Linux Dev. So we have our webcam, we have the capture card, which is the actual screen here, or right here. And then I want to add in one more, which is going to be a, not browser source, window capture. This is going to be Twitch chat. I don't know which one it's going to be. There you go. Here's the Twitch chat. So I don't need to capture the cursor. I don't think that matters. Okay. And so the idea is that I can, this is really big. I can put this on the right here. Maybe make it a little bit smaller so that it evenly matches this. Can yeah, something like this. Maybe a little. I think that works. Then what I can do, because it's the chat, I can now essentially remove that from the Linux machine. So I'm going to close that window. I'm going to full screen my code. Now, of course, like the code is going to be slightly obfuscated here. So I want to, in turn, reduce this size down to here. So the problem that I see with this is now this is hidden. So basically I have a bunch of white, like black space in here, which is not necessarily exactly what I wanted to see. I mean, it would be nice to have this full. I'm not sure what the best, like the best layout for me is to use. I think what I'm gonna have to do is look at a bunch of different streamers online and sort of see what they're doing, and then determine like what sizes and what I want to do with the space, because I'm not really sure exactly where I want things to go. Maybe the best thing to do would be to have Twitch chat not be a window like this, but be the little another overlay. So another website from this web server with Twitch messages popping up I've seen some people do that before, so that might be good for me to do here too. And then that way I can have Twitch chat on my phone, and then we're just not, then I can just have the pure code over here on my computer. I think that would be the best way to go about it. So let's pull back the Twitch chat over here. Pop out. You go on to the right. And are you the right size? I think you are. I need to remove this Twitch chat. So we've come back to Linux Dev. All right, so I want to think about say that, I've noticed that I started saying that a lot. I want to think about. I want to see and explore the Twitch API for chat. So Twitch dev chat. If I can get access to the chat windows, I just want to get all the chat. So chat reference. So there are chat bots. I mean, that might be good. I just want to be able to like see every chat and then display it to the screen. Enables viewers to send messages viewable by the broadcaster and other viewers. Okay, so I don't really care about that. But I think that might be what I have to do, is the chat is essentially a chat bot to see all the chats. Let's create a basic chatbot that connects to Twitch chat and responds to 2 commands, echo and haiku. In this example, we'll use Node.js, TMI, an open source module. Okay. Haikudos that generates procedure-generated haikus. Okay, so they're gonna obfuscate how this works using TMI, which is an open source module facilitated community to facilitate working with chat. Let's go take a look at crates.io and see if anybody has created a crate for Twitch. There's the Twitch API library. Rust API, kind of for the Streamlink utility. So Twitch API. Twitch API U, you have the OAuth token. If let some user match users, get C. Well, okay, that's giving me that. I wonder if there is more information in the documentation. Docs.rs failed to build Twitch API 011. Okay, so that's not the best of signs. So we may not be able to use Rust for this right away, unless I could figure out exactly what they're doing. Maybe I can do it manually. So their docs. New Twitch API reference. Okay, so we validate the request. We register our application. We get a token. Send it. When we make pure HTTP requests, that seems to be fine. Revoking access tokens, we don't need to worry about that right now. I want to is an extensions. Okay, so name, what is it? I mean, I guess I could use one like Streamlabs, but I was hoping I could make my own, just because I wanted the experience of making it, and I think that would be fun to do, especially if I could use the backend as Rust. Hub sub. Can I hub sub to chat? Okay, so it's WebSockets. It's secure WebSockets. To keep the server from closing a connection, we must send a ping command at least once every 5 minutes. I think that's fine. Okay, subscribing to topics. Okay, so bits, all topics require an OAuth token, but only some topics have a specific required scope. You are notified when anyone cheers on a specific channel, anyone subscribes, anyone makes a purchase, anyone whispers. Wait, is there like just anyone sends a normal message? When a message for your subscription is okay, no, that's okay. So data type message, topic, channel, subscribe events. Well, that's kind of like not very helpful, because I want all chat events, and this seems like it's really only going to let me cheers, subscribes, purchase, or whispers. It doesn't seem very helpful. Okay, so PubSub is not what we want. New Twitch API. Okay, so version 5. Okay, so that's getting something like the users. Broadcasting. Okay, so what can I really do with this? I guess I'm gonna have to create a chatbot. The sad thing about the chatbot is they don't have any documentation for me to use with Rust here. Interesting. If you're new to OAuth or you just want to get started as quickly as possible, use twitchapps.com/TMI, a Twitch community site well logged into your chatbot account. Interesting. So then that would work. I might have to write to create a new application. When you get your token, you must specify scopes, the permissions you are allowed. Okay, so we can do that. Also, before running a bot, make sure you've installed TMI and Haikudos. So we don't know what TMI does. We can look into that and like look at the source code of TMI and figure out what it does. And that might be what we have to do if we want to essentially port it over to Rust and then use it. Otherwise, we would want to client on message handler. They've got to be using WebSockets, right? To be able to receive all of these chats. Because this is going to be using OAuth keys and tokens, I'm not sure I want to fully make this on stream because there may be like too much of me showing that. I'm going to probably have to on my own play around with this a little bit to see it. And I may in the end just say that I'd rather just use the Streamlabs one or some other extension that can like pop up the chat up here. So I'll have to play around with that and sort of see how I feel about it. Until then, I don't feel like I'm blocking too much of the stream to maybe full screen the code. Let's say if I open up MainRS, full screening this doesn't seem too bad right now. I think that will work. I'll have to play with this a little bit to really make a decision of what I want to do for it. What else? What other stream things do I want to sort of create right now? I think that's gonna be it for this stream. It's a good 2-hour stream. I'm gonna come up with the next project that I'm gonna work on, and then tomorrow morning we can start on that. Until then, as always, thank you everybody for stopping by and watching. It's been super fun basically working through these websites, pushing up all the code. I've got that brand new ending stream screen, so I'm gonna use that to sort of like share where all the links of everything is. In fact, I can do that now while I'm still talking, right? So stream ending, transition. Again, thank you everybody for watching. I'm doing this every weekday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, and we're just sort of going until I either run out of steam or the current general project is done, and I have to go off and think about what else I want to do. All my code, I have links for that, so please feel free to go take a look at those. Leave some comments or issues if you find any problems, or if you want to add anything else to it. With that, I'll leave this up for about a minute or two, and then I'll turn off the stream. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time I stream.